They lied to you, your parents, your teachers, your leaders. Every fairy tale, every motivational poster, every "be kind and the world will reward you" sermon, all lies. And somewhere deep in your bones, past the polite smiles and the forced optimism, past the Instagram captions and the job applications, you already know this. You've tasted the bitterness. You've bled from trusting too much. You've watched the ruthless devour the good and call it success. Florence, 1513. A man sits in the darkness, hands stained with ink and failure. Niccolò Machiavelli, once powerful, once respected, now nothing, tortured, exiled, destroyed by the very political machine he served. But in that darkness, something dangerous was born. Not revenge, not bitterness, something far more terrifying: clarity. Men are so simple and so subject to present necessities that he who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. You are that someone. I am that someone. We are the deceived, standing in line, waiting for fairness in a rigged game, believing in merit while mediocrity wears a crown. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince as philosophy. He wrote it as a confession, a final scream into the void. This is how it actually works. This is the machinery behind the curtain. This is the code you weren't supposed to crack. Every promotion you didn't get, decoded. Every promise that shattered, explained. Every nice guy's finish last wound you carry, diagnosed. You want to know why the narcissist leads while the humble serve? Why the loudest voice wins while wisdom whispers? Why loyalty gets you discarded while treachery gets you elevated? Machiavelli mapped it, named it, weaponized it into 26 chapters of surgical truth. But they neutered him, turned him into a cartoon villain, made Machiavellian synonymous with evil so you'd never actually read him, so you'd never learn the patterns, so you'd stay prey, because if you understood power, you'd stop begging for it. If you understood manipulation, you'd stop falling for it. If you understood the game, you'd stop losing. He who neglects what is done for what ought to be done sooner effects his ruin than his preservation. You've been living in ought to be. The world operates in what is done. 9 revelations are coming, not theories, autopsies, not lessons, surgical strikes on your illusions. Each one will strip away another layer of the comfortable lies you've wrapped yourself in. This will hurt. Truth carved from 5 centuries of corpses always does. But on the other side of this pain, you'll finally see the invisible chessboard, the hidden hands, the silent rules everyone follows, but nobody admits. Machiavelli isn't going to save you. He's going to show you how you've been killing yourself with your own nobility. Are you ready to see? Now let's begin. Number 1. Your goodness is your prison. You're good, genuinely good. You keep your word when it costs you. You help when nobody's watching. You tell the truth even when lies would save you. You believe in karma, in justice, in that mythical universe that rewards virtue. And where has it gotten you? Watching the liars get promoted, watching the manipulators get loved, watching the ruthless build empires while your integrity keeps you shackled to mediocrity. Your goodness isn't a strength, it's a leash they use to control you. Machiavelli saw it in every court, every council, every blood-soaked piazza of Renaissance Italy. The merciful prince, murdered by his own mercy. The honest diplomat, outplayed by those who treated words as weapons, not contracts. The virtuous leader, remembered as weak while the tyrant's statue still stands. A man who wants to act virtuously in every way necessarily comes to grief among so many who are not virtuous. You entered a cage fight reading poetry. You brought flowers to a war. You played fair in a game where fairness is just another tactic to disarm you. Your colleague stole your idea. Your partner cheated. Your friend betrayed you. And each time you asked yourself, what did I do wrong? Nothing. That's the poison. You did nothing wrong. You were simply good in a world that weaponizes goodness, that harvests virtue like crops, that uses your decency as a handle to twist you into submission. Every "How are you?" you answered honestly while they wore masks. Every secret you kept while they traded yours for advantage. Every boundary you respected while they trampled through your soul wearing smiles. Machiavelli isn't telling you to become evil. He's showing you that your goodness requires protection, strategy, intelligence. That virtue without power is just martyrdom in slow motion. That being good to everyone is just being useful to predators. You've felt it. That moment when you realized they never intended to play fair. When you discovered the job wasn't about merit, but politics. When you understood the relationship was transactional all along. When you finally saw that the rules you followed religiously were just tools to keep you compliant while others wrote their own rules. That nausea you felt? That wasn't disillusionment. That was awakening. The predators of this world don't fear your goodness. They count on it. Your predictability is their advantage. Your honesty is their intelligence. Your loyalty is their leverage. You think you're being noble. They see a resource. The wish to acquire is in truth very natural and common, and men always do so when they can. They acquired you, your time, your energy, your trust, your labor, your love. And you gave it freely because you believed in reciprocity, in fairness, in the beautiful lie that goodness generates goodness. But it doesn't. Not automatically, not without boundaries, not without the wisdom to know when virtue becomes victimhood. Your parents taught you to be good. Society demands you stay good. Religion promises rewards for being good, but nobody taught you how to be good and powerful, how to be virtuous and strategic, how to keep your soul while understanding the game. That's the real lesson buried in Machiavelli's pages. Goodness isn't wrong. Unprotected goodness is suicidal. The lion must learn the fox's wisdom. The dove needs the serpent's awareness. Your beautiful heart requires an intelligent mind to guard it. Stop letting your virtue be your vulnerability. Number 2. Love is a fairy tale. Fear is forever. You wanted them to love you, your boss, your partner, your children, your followers. You built your entire strategy around being loved, working late to be appreciated, sacrificing to be valued, bending to be accepted. And the moment you stopped being useful, they forgot your name. Meanwhile, that person everyone fears, still relevant, still powerful, still occupying space in every room they've ever left. Machiavelli watched princes rise on love and fall into graves. He watched leaders charm their way to thrones, then bleed out when that charm faded. He watched the beloved become the betrayed with surgical consistency. Then he wrote the sentence that made the world hate him. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Not because he was cruel, because he refused to lie about what actually sustains power when the honeymoon ends, when resources get scarce, when loyalty gets tested by a better offer. Love is conditional. It evaporates under pressure. It changes with moods, circumstances, opportunities. That employee who loves this company, watch what happens when a competitor offers more money. That partner who swore eternal devotion. Observe when someone more attractive, more successful, more exciting appears. Love is a feeling. Fear is a calculation. You've lived this. That parent who demanded respect through love versus the one whose disapproval you still carry in your bones. That teacher who was your friend versus the one whose standards you still measure yourself against. That leader who wanted to be liked versus the one who commanded excellence. Who shaped you more? Be honest. Not fear of violence, fear of disappointment, fear of consequences, fear of falling short of a standard that never lowered itself to make you comfortable. Your niceness made you forgettable. Your attempts to be loved made you disrespected. You confused being liked with being valued, being popular with being powerful, being friendly with being feared. Men love at their own free will, but fear at the will of the prince. Translation: love requires their choice. Fear requires only your consistency. When you lead with love, you're hostage to their emotions. Their bad day becomes your crisis. Their insecurity becomes your limitation. Their need for constant validation becomes your job. When you lead with respect, earned through competence, through boundaries, through consequences, you create something more durable than affection. You create awareness. They know you don't tolerate disrespect. They know your standards don't negotiate. They know crossing you costs something real, not because you're cruel, but because you value yourself enough to enforce consequences. That manager who lets everything slide, nobody fears disappointing them. That parent who never follows through, their threats are ambient noise. That partner who accepts every betrayal, their love becomes contempt disguised as familiarity. You taught people how to treat you by what you tolerated, and you tolerated everything because you were desperate to be loved. Machiavelli isn't advocating tyranny. He's demolishing your delusion that being nice protects you, that being loved sustains you, that people will reciprocate your kindness when it stops serving them. The person you bend over backward for, they'll respect you less with every contortion. The person who sees your boundaries, your standards, your willingness to walk away, they'll treat you differently. Not because they love you more, because they fear losing access to you. Fear isn't about intimidation. It's about understanding that actions have consequences, that your presence isn't guaranteed, that taking you for granted has a price. Stop begging for love. Start earning respect. The difference will reshape your entire existence. Number 3. Mercy kills. Cruelty saves. You gave them a second chance, then a third, then a 10th. You forgave the betrayal, the lies, the half-hearted apologies. You believed in redemption, in growth, in people's potential to change, and they drained you until nothing remained but your regret for not cutting them loose when you first saw the poison. Machiavelli documented something you felt but never named. Strategic cruelty is more merciful than weakness disguised as kindness. A prince must not worry about the reproach of cruelty when it's a matter of keeping his subjects united and loyal. That employee you refused to fire despite repeated failures. The team suffered. The standards collapsed. Excellence became optional. Your mercy toward one person became cruelty toward everyone else who had to compensate for their incompetence. That relationship you stayed in long past its expiration. Both of you rotted. Your mercy trapped them in mediocrity and yourself in misery. That kind choice to not hurt them became years of mutual suffering. That friend who repeatedly violated boundaries, your continued acceptance taught them you don't respect yourself enough to walk away. Your mercy enabled their toxicity. Real cruelty isn't the swift cut. It's the slow bleed you inflict by refusing to make hard decisions. Machiavelli watched merciful princes lose kingdoms. He watched kind leaders get devoured by those who mistook gentleness for weakness. He watched forgiveness become an invitation for repeated violation. Then he watched ruthless leaders who executed traitors immediately, who enforced consequences brutally, who made examples of violators, create stable, prosperous states where people actually thrived because the rules were clear and the enforcement was certain. The paradox destroys your Disney morality. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is be ruthlessly clear about what you won't tolerate. That business that fired you without ceremony, they freed you to find better. That partner who ended it cleanly, they released you from limbo. That parent who enforced consequences, they built your character. You've confused enabling with compassion. You've mistaken tolerance for love. You've called your inability to make hard decisions being a good person. But mercy without wisdom is just cowardice wearing a halo. Severities should be dealt out all at once, so that their suddenness may give less offense. Benefits ought to be handed out drop by drop, so that they may be relished the more. One decisive cut heals. 1,000 small compromises fester. That person you need to remove from your life. The delay isn't kindness, it's torture for both of you. That standard you need to enforce? The hesitation isn't mercy, it's the collapse of everything you've built. Cruelty isn't the absence of care. Sometimes it's the highest form of it. The surgeon's knife hurts, but it saves the body. Stop letting your fear of being harsh destroy what you're trying to protect. Number 4. Your enemies define you more than your friends. They betrayed you, backstabbed you, destroyed your reputation, stole from you, lied about you, and you spent years trying to understand why, trying to fix it, trying to prove them wrong, trying to win them back. Meanwhile, they moved on, thriving, unburdened, free, because they understood something you didn't. Enemies are inevitable. Managing them is mandatory. Machiavelli survived political exile, torture, irrelevance. He knew every prince, every leader, every person with anything worth taking would accumulate enemies like a ship accumulates barnacles. It is better to be impetuous than cautious, because fortune is a woman, and if you wish to dominate her, you must beat and strike her. Your mistake wasn't having enemies. Your mistake was trying not to have them, trying to be liked by everyone, trying to avoid conflict, trying to make peace with people actively invested in your destruction. That competitor who copies everything you create, they're not going to respect your kindness. That colleague who undermines you in meetings, they're not confused, they're strategic. That family member who poisons every gathering, they're not hurting, they're hunting. You wasted energy trying to convert enemies into friends. Machiavelli would have asked, why? Some people will hate you for succeeding, for existing, for reminding them of their own inadequacy. Your light doesn't inspire them, it exposes them. Your growth doesn't motivate them, it threatens them. No amount of explanation will satisfy them. No achievement will convert them. No kindness will disarm them. They are enemies, not because you failed them, because you exceeded them. Accept it. Name it. Strategy begins where denial ends. Machiavelli didn't say eliminate your enemies, though Renaissance Italy certainly tried. He said, understand them, anticipate them, neutralize their ability to harm you. Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception. That enemy spreading rumors, don't defend, outperform. Let your results humiliate their lies. That competitor stealing clients, don't react. Innovate beyond their capacity to copy. That toxic person demanding your attention, don't engage. Starve them of the drama they need. Your friends will comfort you. Your enemies will sharpen you. Your friends will agree with you. Your enemies will reveal your weaknesses. Your friends will celebrate your victories. Your enemies will expose what you're avoiding. Every successful person has a graveyard of enemies who underestimated them, attacked too early, revealed their strategies too obviously. Those enemies became fuel, clarity, motivation. You've been trying to have no enemies. Start trying to have the right enemies, the ones who confirm you're dangerous enough to be worth attacking. If nobody opposes you, you're irrelevant. If everyone loves you, you're invisible. If you have enemies, you're doing something that matters. Stop apologizing for existing in a way that threatens mediocrity. Number 5. Fortune favors the violent, not the patient. You waited for the right moment, the perfect conditions, when you had more experience, more money, more confidence, more certainty. You waited for permission that never came, for readiness that never arrived, for fear to dissolve into courage through the magic of time. And while you waited, someone less qualified, less prepared, less deserving, but more audacious, took everything you were preparing for. They didn't wait, they seized. Machiavelli watched fortune, that capricious goddess of chance, destroy careful planners and elevate reckless gamblers. He watched prepared princes fall to impulsive usurpers. He watched patience become another word for cowardice. Then he wrote words that still burn. I hold it to be true that fortune is the arbiter of one half of our actions, but that she still leaves us to direct the other half. Half of life is chaos, uncontrollable, random, brutal. The other half? That's where you either strike or submit. You've been taught that good things come to those who wait, that patience is virtue, that timing is everything, that slow and steady wins. All lies designed to keep you passive while the aggressive inherit the earth. That job you were waiting to be ready for? Someone applied before they were qualified and learned on the job. That business you were planning to start? Someone launched a worse version and iterated into success. That person you were waiting to approach? Someone else made the move you rehearsed but never executed. Fortune doesn't reward the prepared. Fortune rewards the bold who move before they're ready, who strike before the moment is perfect, who understand that hesitation is just fear wearing a strategic mask. God does not want to do everything, so as not to take free will from us and that part of the glory that falls to us. Your life isn't a spectator sport. Fortune isn't going to tap you on the shoulder when the conditions are ideal. The universe doesn't care about your readiness. That window of opportunity you're analyzing, it's closing while you calculate risk. That chance you're weighing pros and cons about, someone just took it. That moment you're waiting to feel certain about? Certainty comes after action, not before. You've confused prudence with paralysis. You've called your fear of failure being responsible. You've dressed your hesitation in the language of wisdom, but Machiavelli saw through it. He watched men lose everything because they moved too slowly, thought too carefully, respected fortune too much. He watched impulsive princes, reckless, even stupid, stumble into victories through sheer momentum. The world doesn't belong to the smartest. It belongs to those who move while the smart are still thinking. That relationship that could have transformed your life. You waited for the right time to express your feelings. There was no right time. That investment opportunity? You researched until it was too expensive. That creative project? You perfected it into irrelevance while inferior versions captured the market. Fortune is a force that respects force. She submits to aggression. She mocks caution. She punishes hesitation with opportunities given to someone else. You don't need to be reckless. You need to be willing to be incomplete, to launch before you're ready, to speak before you're certain, to move before you're comfortable. Because the only thing worse than failing boldly is succeeding at waiting for a moment that never comes. That thing you're putting off until you're ready, you'll never be ready. That move you're waiting to make until conditions are perfect, perfect conditions don't exist. That leap you're preparing for, stop preparing. Jump. Fortune doesn't wait. Neither should you. Number 6. Your reputation is everything. Your character is nothing. Who are you really? Strip away the performance, the image, the carefully curated profile. Who exists underneath? Doesn't matter. Nobody will ever know. Nobody will ever care. They only know what you show them. They only believe what you make them believe. They only remember the story you project, not the truth you hide. Machiavelli demolished the comfortable fantasy that true character eventually reveals itself, that authenticity wins, that being genuine matters more than being perceived correctly. Men in general judge more by their eyes than by their hands, for everyone can see, but very few can feel. Your actual qualities? Irrelevant. Your secret virtues? Invisible. Your private struggles? Meaningless. What matters is the reputation you construct, maintain, and defend with more ferocity than you defend your actual self. That competitor with half your skill? They have twice your visibility. That leader with mediocre abilities? They have exceptional branding. That influencer with nothing original to say? They say it so consistently that perception becomes reality. You believed substance would speak for itself. That quality would be recognized. That doing good work was enough. It isn't. It never was. It never will be. Reputation is the currency of power. Character is just the raw material you mine to build that reputation. But the two are not the same. You can be brilliant and be perceived as incompetent. You can be generous and be remembered as selfish. You can be loyal and be branded a traitor. The truth doesn't matter. The narrative matters. Machiavelli watched virtuous men die in disgrace because they failed to manage their image. He watched scoundrels become legends because they controlled their story. He watched history written by those who understood that reputation outlives reality. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. That person who wronged you, if they told a better story than you, they won. That accomplishment you worked years to achieve. If you didn't publicize it, it didn't happen. That mistake you made. If you don't control the narrative, someone else will. Your LinkedIn profile, your social media, your appearance, your associations, your titles, your visibility, these aren't vanity. These are infrastructure. You've been focused on being good. They've been focused on being seen as good. Guess who's winning? Stop confusing humility with invisibility. Stop calling your failure to self-promote, letting the work speak for itself. Work is mute. You have to give it a voice. That recognition you deserve. It won't find you in silence. That opportunity you've earned. It goes to whoever made themselves visible enough to be considered. Build your reputation with the same intensity you build your skills. Protect your image with the same vigilance you protect your integrity. Because in the court of public opinion, which is the only court that matters, perception is the verdict. And your actual character is just evidence nobody has time to examine. Number 7. Destroy today. What will destroy you tomorrow? You saw the warning signs, that small lie, that minor betrayal, that slight disrespect, that barely noticeable shift in loyalty. You ignored it, gave it time, hoped it would resolve itself, convinced yourself you were overreacting, and by the time you finally acted, the cancer had metastasized into something that destroyed everything you built. Machiavelli understood what you keep learning the hard way. Small threats don't stay small. They grow in the shadows of your mercy until they're strong enough to devour you. Wise men say, and not without reason, that whoever wishes to foresee the future must consult the past. That employee showing minor insubordination. They're testing boundaries. That partner telling small lies. They're measuring your tolerance. That competitor copying your minor features. They're preparing to steal your entire model. You called it patience. It was negligence. You called it giving them a chance. It was giving them ammunition. You called it not overreacting. It was underreacting until it was too late. The threat you can eliminate easily today will require war to eliminate tomorrow. Machiavelli watched principalities fall because leaders addressed problems after they became crises instead of crushing them when they were whispers. He watched mercy towards small insurrections become executions of the merciful. That toxic person you're tolerating because they're not that bad. They're poisoning everything slowly enough that you don't notice until your entire culture is corrupted. That bad habit you're allowing because it's just occasional. It's building the addiction that will destroy your discipline. That competitor you're dismissing because they're too small to worry about. They're learning your weaknesses while you ignore theirs. Men ought either to be indulged or utterly destroyed, for if you merely offend them, they take vengeance. But if you injure them greatly, they are unable to retaliate. Half measures create enemies. Complete action eliminates problems. You hurt them enough to make them angry, but not enough to make them powerless. You warned them enough to make them defensive, but not enough to make them leave. You resisted them enough to provoke, but not enough to defeat. And now they're stronger, angrier, and intimately familiar with your weaknesses. That relationship you should have ended cleanly? You tried to slowly distance yourself and created a resentful enemy. That employee you should have fired immediately. You gave them one more chance, and they sabotaged the team. That boundary you should have enforced absolutely. You compromised and taught them your limits are negotiable. The pattern is always the same. You see the danger early, you act late, you suffer completely. Machiavelli isn't advocating paranoia. He's demanding awareness that threats multiply, problems compound, and mercy toward emerging dangers is just cruelty toward your future self. That thing you're ignoring because dealing with it is uncomfortable, it's growing. That problem you're postponing because confrontation is hard, it's metastasizing. Kill it now, or it kills you later. Number 8. Allies are temporary. Self-sufficiency is permanent. They promised loyalty, forever friends, eternal partners, ride or die, through thick and thin, blood brothers, unbreakable bonds, and the moment it cost them something real to stay, they evaporated like they were never there. You called them allies. They called you convenient. Machiavelli watched alliances dissolve faster than they formed, watched yesterday's brother-in-arms become today's assassin, watched treaties signed in blood become worthless paper when interests shifted. He concluded something that still echoes across centuries. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Not because those men define him, because choosing to depend on them reveals his understanding of a fundamental truth. All alliances are conditional, all partnerships are temporary, all relationships are transactions pretending to be connections. Your business partner, they're with you until a better opportunity appears. Your corporate team, they're loyal until the company restructures. Your political allies, they support you until opposing you becomes advantageous. This isn't cynicism, this is gravity. Alliances are held together by mutual benefit, and the moment that calculus changes, the alliance doesn't fade, it detonates. You felt it. That friend who disappeared when you stopped being successful. That mentor who abandoned you when you no longer made them look good. That colleague who was family until you competed for the same promotion. Where did they go? Nowhere. They were always ghosts. You just mistook the transaction for a relationship. Machiavelli isn't saying don't form alliances. He's saying never mistake them for loyalty. Never confuse mutual benefit with genuine bond. Never build your foundation on support that can be withdrawn at any moment. Princes who have done great things have considered keeping their word of little account and have known how to overcome the minds of men by shrewdness. That company you built with a partner, have an exit strategy. That relationship you're all in on, maintain your independence. That team you're leading, develop capabilities they don't control. Self-sufficiency isn't paranoia, it's architecture. The moment you can't survive without them, you've handed them the keys to your destruction. The moment you need them more than they need you, you've become their resource, not their ally. You've watched powerful people fall because they relied on armies that deserted, fortunes that vanished, supporters who switched sides. They built empires on foundations they didn't own, and when those foundations shifted, they collapsed. Your value to others must always exceed their value to you. Your ability to walk away must always be present. Your survival must never depend on someone else's decision to stay. That job you're afraid to leave, you're already trapped. That relationship where you're terrified of being alone, you're already imprisoned. That business where one client is 80% of your revenue, you're already owned. Diversify your power, multiply your options, build redundancy into everything that matters. Allies amplify your strength when they choose to. Self-sufficiency is the strength that never abandons you. Machiavelli survived exile because he needed nothing from anyone. He wrote, "The prince not to beg for employment, but to demonstrate value." He didn't plead for his position back, he created new ground to stand on. You've been building your life on other people's promises. Start building it on your own capacity. That person you're depending on to save you, they won't. That opportunity you're waiting for someone to give you, they'll give it to someone else. Save yourself. Create your own opportunities. Become the foundation, not the structure balanced on someone else's goodwill. Number 9. Legacy is written by those who survive, not those who were right. You wanted to be remembered for truth, for integrity, for being on the right side of history. But history isn't written by those who were right. It's written by those who were left standing. The virtuous prince who lost his kingdom, forgotten. The ruthless tyrant who held power until death, monuments in his name. The honest politician who refused to compromise, a footnote. The manipulative one who built dynasties, chapters in every textbook. Machiavelli documented the corpses of the righteous and the thrones of the ruthless, and asked the question you refuse to face. What good is being right if you don't survive to tell the story? Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. That moral stand you took that cost you everything, noble, also irrelevant. That principle you refused to compromise that ended your career, admirable, also forgotten. That truth you spoke that destroyed your reputation, brave, also erased by the liars who outlasted you. You've confused martyrdom with victory, confused losing with nobility, confused being destroyed for your principles with defending them successfully. The dead don't write history. The defeated don't control narratives. The cancelled don't get platforms to explain what really happened. You think posterity will vindicate you? Posterity doesn't remember you unless you lived long enough, won consistently enough, accumulated enough power to force them to remember. Machiavelli himself is proof. He died in obscurity, despised, exiled. But he survived long enough to finish writing, and those writings outlived every prince he served, every enemy who destroyed him, every power structure of Renaissance Italy. He's remembered, his torturers are dust, not because he was more virtuous, because he endured, because he documented, because he transformed his suffering into something that couldn't be killed. Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. Translation: structure your life for survival first, righteousness second. Build for endurance, not for purity. Win the war before you write the memoir. That cause you're willing to die for. Don't. Live for it instead. That truth you're willing to sacrifice everything for. Protect yourself enough to keep telling it. That integrity that makes you vulnerable, wrap it in strategy so it survives contact with reality. Your principles matter. Your survival matters more. Because principles that die with you might as well have never existed. You've watched the pattern repeat. The honest whistleblower destroyed while the corrupt thrive. The ethical business crushed while the exploitative conglomerate expands. The authentic artist starving while the manufactured one commands stadiums. And you keep telling yourself that virtue is its own reward, that being right is enough, that you'll be vindicated eventually. By whom? The people who benefit from your silence? The system that profits from your defeat? The narrative controlled by those who won? Legacy isn't about goodness. It's about longevity, about outlasting your enemies, about being present to tell your version when theirs starts to crumble. Machiavelli isn't asking you to abandon your values. He's demanding you survive long enough for those values to matter. That battle you're fighting, win it or die trying, isn't inspiring. It's just dying. That truth you're speaking, speak it from a position strong enough that they can't silence you. That change you're trying to make, accumulate the power required to actually make it instead of just protesting its absence. The righteous corpse accomplishes nothing. The strategic survivor changes everything. Stop optimizing for moral purity. Start optimizing for effective persistence. Because the world isn't saved by those who were right. It's shaped by those who remained. 5 centuries separate us from Machiavelli's small farmhouse in exile, but nothing has changed. The liars still win while the honest bleed. The ruthless still rise while the virtuous serve. The strategic still devour the naive. The visible still eclipse the talented. The survivors still write history while the righteous become forgotten. You wanted this to be different. You wanted to believe that goodness was enough, that truth mattered, that authenticity would be rewarded. Machiavelli didn't destroy that hope. Reality did. He just had the courage to document it. Men are so simple of mind and so much dominated by their immediate needs that a deceitful man will always find plenty who are ready to be deceived. You've been deceived by fairy tales, by motivational lies, by systems designed to keep you compliant while calling it virtuous. These 9 principles aren't recipes for villainy. They're maps of terrain you've been walking blindfolded, getting destroyed by obstacles you were taught didn't exist. Your goodness needs protection. Your love needs strategy. Your mercy needs boundaries. Your enemies need management. Your timing needs courage. Your reputation needs construction. Your threats need elimination. Your independence needs building. Your legacy needs you alive. This isn't about becoming Machiavellian, that cartoon villain they created to stop you from reading him. This is about becoming conscious, strategic, aware, about finally seeing the game you've been losing because you didn't know it was being played. Machiavelli died centuries ago, but his words survive because he understood something permanent. Power operates on principles, not on wishes. Reality rewards strategy, not hope. History remembers effectiveness, not intentions. You can hate these truths. You can call them dark. You can wish the world worked differently. Or you can learn them, apply them, use them to protect what you love, build what you believe in, and survive long enough to matter. The choice was always yours. Now you just see it clearly. Drop this in the comments. I see the game now.